Brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. There's quite a few liberals in Tennessee that could use a water filter system. I'm sure of it. We saw them yesterday at the state capitol acting completely unhinged. And I'm a big fan. Buckle up, losers. We're getting a new map. Sorry. Been waiting a while to say that. Matt Murphy was absolutely reserved and polite yesterday when I was under the impression that he should be eating some of these people's souls when it comes to the redistricting effort. In fact, I texted him that. I said, Mr. Murphy, that's what I call him. It's a respect thing. I said, Mr. Murphy.
Excuse me, sir.
Excuse me, sir. I was expecting a much more eating their souls approach to this, and he said, I promise to be nice. I said, nobody listens to your show for you to be nice. Nobody does.
Be mean, Murphy.
Be mean, Murph. What are you doing? You let me down. Let me down, brother. No, I'm just kidding. It was a great show, and I was here for it. You know, I do find myself just having quite a good laugh as these Democrats are calling us racist once again, and I find myself going, you know, this might have held some weight 10 or 15 years ago before you guys completely devalued the term. You know, Republicans used to shudder. Oh my gosh, I don't want to be called a racist. I don't want to be called a bigot. Oh, please don't call me a Nazi. I'm not a Nazi. And now, because you've called us this year after year after year, the response from Republicans is good. It's just, I don't think anybody's actually being racist. In fact, the whole reason we're redrawing the maps is because race-based maps are unconstitutional. Weird how that works out. I love it. I do. And we were talking during the cross with Dan, and I think one of the things that really makes me chuckle, really puts a tickle in my belly, makes me laugh, is when the Tennessee Holler, which is a notorious leftist outlet, they're posting these clips, right? And they're posting these clips to show how those dastardly Republicans got owned. And I'm like, bro, you didn't own us. You're posting your own fails. And you don't even know it. You are so tone deaf on this argument and to the people of Tennessee that you don't even realize that you're posting L after L after L. And we're going to get into it. I'm a big fan. If you disagree, you go to the front of the line, 615-737-9986. I love seeing some fight out of the Republican Party. And kudos to the Tennessee legislature for doing what they're doing. We should be getting some news on that today, right? Is that the word on the street that today
I believe so.
Today is the day? Do we have cake ready?
I can make a quick run to Publix.
Thank you.
I can do it.
Is this a blow out some candles situation, or is it just a celebratory cake?
I think it's just a celebratory cake.
Okay. Can we get some confetti poppers?
I might have some left over from New Year's.
Okay.
I don't know if they're selling them right now.
What about the paper horn that you blow it out and it unrolls and it makes that sound? You know the sound that I'm talking about? You know the sound. Yes. That's the one.
That's the one.
Remember when I told you save that because we're going to need it down the road and I didn't know what we would need it for? Here we are. Even when I don't know why I'm right, I'm right.
I knew you were good. I knew you were pushing towards it. I was like, wait, I got to find it.
The glorious salt mining that was the internet last night. Literally, dude, this is what I signed up for. This is what really excites me. I'm not even, I would be lying to you if I said I'm here for Republican wins. I'm here for Democrat fails. And the Democrats are failing. And they're flailing. And they're gnashing teeth. And they just look unhinged. Again, shout out to the Tennessee legislature. We'll get into that. I also want to talk about the California mayoral debate, or Los Angeles mayoral debate, last night, which was just absolutely bonkers. Huge fan of Spencer Pratt. We got some juicy audio from that. And I just think that this is a blueprint moving forward. And I think, what they announced that Mayor Freddie's running for re-election. Did you know that? Soft Fred, he's running for re-election. And this is a blueprint on how you take out a Democrat. It just is. I don't know if Spencer's going to win, But I think that this blueprint is being laid out very, very clearly. You call out the obvious, glaring fails of the Democrat administration, and you might have a chance to win. And I think that if there is a good conservative that jumps inside the mayoral race, I'm going to throw my full weight behind him. Like, let's go for it. We can't have Freddie O'Connell keep doing what he's doing, ruining the city, or we're going to turn into L.A. During last night, I'm doing show prep, right? I'm doing the prep because you got to put the work in, and I was looking up videos of L.A. and I'm like, man, this is going to be Nashville if we don't pay attention. And I find this one video, which is just absolutely insane. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, I'm gonna post it on Super Talk TV because it's your downtown L.A., right? And there's a pigeon. Which is that's not rare, pigeons in the big city. That's something, but this pigeon is making a nest, okay? And what would you think a pigeon would make a nest with, right? Some twigs, maybe some old grass. You got to keep the eggs warm. That's what the pigeons do, right? The pigeons lay eggs. I know birds are fake, but let's just for a second pretend they're real. Pretend the birds are real. The birds make nests. Okay? In California, the pigeons are now making their nests with old dirty syringes. So,
jeez.
Is that not dark and dystopian future? This is what our future is in Nashville if we keep electing Democrats. Will somebody think of the pigeons? Am I going to have to be that guy?
Think of the future of the drone network. It's going to collapse if we don't fix this.
Skynet won't make it.
And now,
well, somebody think of Skynet. So yeah, we got a lot to get to today, and I'm really excited to do it. You're welcome to join the show any way you would like. 615-737-9986. Let's begin with the redistricting wars, where we're racking up some big wins. South Carolina State House has officially passed a 2026 redistricting resolution. They're another step towards drawing a 7 Republican, 0 Democrat map. Oh, so sad. They'll scream racism. Yep. Get ready. Mississippi is also moving towards a special session that could redistrict their congressional map and remove the lone blue seat that is racially drawn. And yesterday, the leftists, they weren't exactly happy. They were furious. They were also kicked out and removed from the legislative committee advancing that 2026 congressional redistricting. We got it here on Super Talk TV. This is what it sounded like. Memphis, hands off. Memphis, hands off. Memphis. Hey, does anybody know who made Memphis safer? Was it the Democrats that have been in control for years, or was it the Republican governor and the Republican president that said enough is enough with this Democrat BS? We're moving in whether you like it or not. Can anybody tell me that? All of these Democrats that are protesting the new map, you know it was Republicans that made the city better, right? Does everybody know that? Are you keeping score at home? They don't care about Memphis. Nobody cares about Memphis. We're the only ones that care about Memphis. Your schools are failing. Your streets were crime-ridden. Kids couldn't ride their bikes. Old ladies were getting carjacked at the gas station. You guys did nothing. You did nothing. Didn't they call us racist for trying to send in the Memphis Safe Task Force anyway? Oh, my racism. How could you try to protect the black people in Memphis? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But we're here for it. Now, this is something I learned yesterday. I learned this while listening to the Matt Murphy Show. He posted this on X, and it was from Steve Gill. Steve Gill, a lot of people in the audience very familiar with him. He actually posted the map that was drawn the last time Tennessee Democrats controlled redistricting. And I don't know, you tell me, it looks quite similar to the map that we have just drawn for the state of Tennessee. Am I wrong? They'll scream racism. That's what they'll do. People don't think it be like it is, but it do. What? That they,
but it do.
It do. It do. It do. It do.
It do.
I'm here for it. I really am. The salt. And it's like, your boos mean nothing. We've seen what makes you cheer. Like, come on. Get real. You clowns. They're all clowns. So let's begin here. Stacey Abrams was here. She was in town yesterday. Stacey Abrams, the rightful governor of Georgia. Step on down. Stacey Abrams was trying to make the case that we are the real racists. Now, we played this on the crisscross handoff because it was so good, so rich. It's almost too rich. You ever get a piece of cake and you're like, oh, it's too rich for me. That's how I felt. I felt like this was an embarrassment of riches because I'm listening to her and I'm like, I hear her, but does she hear her? Is that a sentence? Is that a proper sentence? Does she hear her?
That sounds right.
Yeah, well, I can't believe she said this.
The result of the Supreme Court decision that essentially gutted Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act.
Gutted.
But I think it's important.
By the way, that's the talking point that all the Democrats are saying. It was gutted. Gutted. They're all saying it from Timu Obama on down. They gutted it. The dastardly Supreme Court. By the way, just on the Supreme Court front, there was a motion to recall yesterday, the judgment. And this was like the last-ditch effort for the Democrats to win this case in Louisiana. Motion to recall was put forward. The Supreme Court slapped it down 9-0. Not even the non-biologist, Ketanji Brown Jackson, dissented. So these maps are here to stay. This decision is not going away. But Stacey Abrams, I'm sorry, I digress.
The result of the Supreme Court decision that essentially gutted Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. But I think it's important for us to understand the necessity of the Voting Rights Act. When the radical Republicans...
Remember that, the radical Republicans, okay? This is what the radical Republicans did. Are you ready? I can't believe that anybody let the radical Republicans get away with this.
Necessity of the Voting Rights Act. When the radical Republicans in post-Civil War, when they pushed through 3 core amendments, it was the 13th Amendment to end slavery, the 14th Amendment that guaranteed birthright citizenship, and the 15th Amendment that guaranteed the right to vote. Because in a democracy, the right to vote is sacrosanct, but it is also the passport to participation.
So that's what the radical Republicans did, okay? Ended slavery, birthright citizenship, saying you are citizens of the United States, which also feeds into a larger argument about birthright citizenship that we have been making. It was there for the children of slaves and former slaves during the Civil War era, not illegal aliens that are just pouring over our border or Chinese nationals. It's not. I know. Weird. Weird. Thank you, Stacey. And they gave them the right to vote. That's what those radical Republicans did. And then what happened, Stacey?
Fortunately, that was soon followed by Jim Crow.
Well, who pushed Jim Crow? Who was it? Whom pushed Jim Crow? Was it the radical Republicans? Does anybody know? Anybody in the back? Oh, that was Democrats. Got it. So the radical Republicans, they ended slavery. They gave citizenship to those former slaves and their children, and they gave them the right to vote. And then Jim Crow happened, but we're going to leave out the Democrat Party, right? We're not going to, it gets a little iffy there. It's a little dicey. We don't want to talk about that. We're not talking about that Jim Crow. We're talking about Jim Crow 11, which is much scarier, much more dangerous. What? It is. 11.0. Is that what we're doing? 11.0. And then, hold on. I got time for one more. You can keep the music going because it's good music. This is Walter Bailey. Mr. Bailey came on down, and he wanted to make the case that we are being evil and racist. Again, this is all of these clips I found on the Tennessee Holler Twitter account. And again, if you've never paid attention to X, the Tennessee Holler is notoriously leftist. I could not believe they kept posting these things because I'm like, you think that you're dunking on us, but like you keep getting blocked at the rim. This is another one. Ready? You ready for this? Mr. Bailey.
The Voting Rights Act bill was passed on the heel of a terrible assassination in Memphis, Dr. King's death. When he took a bullet in the neck And why did Dr. King take a bullet in the neck? Dr. King took a bullet in the neck because he was fighting for the advancement of the rights of not just black people, but all people.
Who was it that shot Dr. Martin Luther King? Does anybody know what party the assassin of Dr. Martin Luther King was with? It's a bit uncomfortable. They didn't bring it up. That was a Democrat. So weird. So they were shooting people in the neck back then. They're shooting people in the neck now. But it's the radical Republicans, and we can't keep letting them get away with this. Got it. 921 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
And those three civil rights.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Better Water LLC. If you got weird smells, stains, or just plain old bad taste in water at the house, and you don't know why, call my friends today. They'll test your water for free. Spoiler alert, there could be some awful reasons why your water isn't up to par. You could have sulfur in it, iron, chlorine, bacteria, even E. coli. You don't want any of that. I know you're quick enough to understand that. But Better Water will test your water for free. If you have any of that nasty stuff in there, they got a system for it. Whether you need reverse osmosis, specialized filters, UV lights, Better Water has you covered. These guys are a local company, and they can do this for your home. They can give you an entire Brita filter, essentially, for your whole house. They can scale it down to fit under the sink. They can do this for your business as well. They're the pros. They're based out of Smyrna. They're already treating the water around town at the local coffee shops and at the hospitals, and they do a fantastic job. We have a water filter on my house, and it really is awesome. We got a water softener. We got a water filter. The water tastes great. It feels good showering, and then we don't have to stress about bathing the kids in it or giving it to the dogs, anything like that. It's good water. It's great water. It's Better Water. 615-355-6063, 615-355-6063, or find them online, betterwater.com.
Coming up, the manhunt is over now for an armed and dangerous Stewart County man. It's coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. Headlines on the way in less than 3 minutes. I'm laughing over here. Democrats are already weighing in with their opinion, and since they can't argue the facts, they're going for personal attacks. So there's a guy in the YouTube chat, goes by VE8482. He's always welcome to call in. We've invited him to call in many, many times. He said, "Cry about it, Chris, snowflake." I'm like, what am I crying about? We're winning. We're winning, sir. Are you paying attention? We're winning. I didn't respond to him on YouTube, but then he said, "Your haircut sucks."
That's what you got?
Listen.
Wow.
All the worst haircuts happen at Midtown Barbershop. If you want a bad haircut like mine, it's Midtown Barbers in Murfreesboro. I think I look good. I do.
I think it looks good.
I think I look great. Brian in Nashville wants to weigh in. What's up, Brian? How are you?
Hey, bad is good, bro. Where
Yep.
I grew up, we'd say that's a badass car, so that's bad is good.
It's sick. I'm here for
Hey,
it.
I'm hoping that Tom McDonald come out with a new song that James Earl Ray was a Democrat. What do
Honestly,
you think?
I'm here for it. Have you heard his
Yeah.
song, "The Devil is a Democrat"?
Of course I have. I have it on my playlist, bro.
Tom McDonald's, he's one
Hey.
of my faves.
Me too, because he's clean. He seems clean. I hadn't heard everything he does, but anyway, I just want to call in and tell you about racism. I was a product of the early 70s in middle school, and that's when integration really took place in Nashville on a big scale, and that's when Christian schools blossomed, it seemed like, and white flight, they called it, where people were moving out of neighborhoods that black people were moving into.
Mm-hmm.
My family never moved. They did take me out of public schools because they were so horrible, which they still are today. They're not even schools, they're zoos. But the racism that everybody's harping on today, I'm a victim, but I would never claim that except for today because it's the subject matter you're talking about.
I mean, the thing
I heard a lady.
the thing that I think is so insane though is that they have devalued the term so much that it's laughable now when they say it.
That's exactly right. And I always tell people, my children, my friends, when somebody accuses you of racism, look at them way harder than you did before.
Yep.
Because if that's their claim, like you said, it's so watered down now. They just throw it around like it's flippant. It doesn't mean what it used to. I'll never deny that it takes place, even today. But
Yep.
back then, even Martin Luther King, come on now, he wasn't speaking for everybody. They say he was. And the things that he said, if that's the case, then the culture that I'm familiar with in the black community would be a little bit different today, but people don't buy into it. White people need to buy into it. Character does count.
Yep.
That's what I brought my children, and I'll emphasize with my grandchildren. And thank God I don't have to raise my grandchildren. My children are raising them. Thank God, because in this culture, anything goes. They're not even husband and wives. They're baby mama, baby daddy, and it's accepted. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, you're
That's
not.
all I got.
You're
Y'all have a
not
great
wrong,
day.
Brian. You too, man. I appreciate the call as always. We'll take some more of your calls on the other side. We'll talk a little bit more about redistricting. If you don't like the new maps, you're welcome to call in. Let's not have an echo chamber. Disagreement is actually encouraged here, as long as we can have a good conversation. 615-737-9986. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 9:30. 9:31, make that. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. One of the people who had been shot outside the La Dance nightclub in downtown Nashville has now died. Here's Channel 4's Danielle Ledbetter.
28-year-old Jawan Lee died in the hospital Wednesday after at least 60 shots were fired during a fight. Metro Police are still looking for the person who did it, but they say they are following strong leads.
The owners of the nightclub announced this week that it is permanently closing its doors. The manhunt for a retired Special Forces agent accused of shooting his wife is now over. 53-year-old Craig Berry was found dead by FBI agents who had been searching for him since Friday. They say he had committed suicide. Berry had been added to the FBI's most wanted list just hours before his body was discovered. It's been 3 months since the FBI raided some Fulton County elections locations in Georgia, seizing documents related to the 2020 election. Well, now a federal judge has ruled the Justice Department is not obligated to return them.
While acknowledging that the January seizure of Fulton County's 2020 election ballots was, quote, certainly not perfect, District Judge J.P. Bully held the federal government can keep those records. The Trump appointee ruled that Fulton County did not establish that its constitutional rights had been disregarded or that it faced irreparable harm if the records were not returned. The Justice Department says it's investigating irregularities in Fulton County, a heavily Democratic area in Georgia where the votes were counted 3 times and Joe Biden won each.
That's ABC's Brian Clark reporting. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. And if your home is not as comfortable as it should be right now, it's time to call Busy Bee. And honestly, it's probably a pretty good time to do it because you're going to save some real money because they got some strong offers going on. Right now, you can get special financing on new HVAC systems with up to 12 months, no payments and no interest, no prepayment penalties either. And approvals will vary by credit, but it does give you some breathing room. And here's the bonus. If you install a high-efficiency system, we're talking 17 SEER or higher, they'll throw in a free Yeti Tundra 45 cooler. Not a bad deal at all. If you're more focused on air quality, well, you should check out their Healthy Hive package. It includes an electronic air cleaner, a whole home UV system, normally about $2,800. Right now, you can get it installed for $22.99. They'll even handle the TVA rebates for you. So you're going to save money on top of this without doing anything. We're talking up to $800 back on mini splits, $500 to $800 back on heat pumps, and even $50 back on AC tune-ups. And if you got plumbing issues, well, they got deals for you there too. $300 off whole home drain repipes, $500 off water distribution repipes. So whether it's heating, cooling, or plumbing, my guys at Busy Bee have you covered. 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, or check them out online, busybeehvac.com. Did I hear that correctly? Stefano DiPietro is about to ruin everyone's Mother's Day?
Unfortunately.
Stefano, get it
You
together.
can't ruin a Mother's Day just with bad weather.
Get it together, Stefano.
It's all your fault.
My wife wanted a picnic, so thanks, dude.
Get her jewelry instead.
Okay, Joan, calm down. It's 9:38 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to the show on all the apps, the FM dial, Radio Classic. You can watch the show as well. Super Talk TV is up and running. YouTube and Rumble are the big ones. Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch are there as well. But on YouTube, please smash that subscribe button. Help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. If you like WTN, this is the area where we can really, really grow. And the more subscribers we get, the bigger the station gets. So it does help us. Even if you don't like my show. You can even I'll let you hit dislike. But just actually dislike it.
Mean it.
Yeah, if you're going to hit the thumbs down, like, just really, really mean it.
We don't take fakers here.
No, don't fake it. Listen, we can complain, and we have, that there's no fight in the Republican Party. And there has been times where we call them soft, weak. I've been known to call them worse than the Democrats at times, because at least the Democrats will tell me that they hate me. At least they'll let me know, point blank, I hate everything you stand for. But the Republicans, they don't fight. And I think it's because they hate us too. That is not the case with a lot of these Republicans in these southern states over the past couple of weeks. They have been absolutely badass when it comes to the redistricting, and we salute them for it. I mean, in the face of screaming, frothing at the mouth opposition, they're still moving forward. And in Alabama last night, they rammed through a 2026 redistricting bill in the middle of tornadoes with sirens blaring.
Call us back in. They'll say, now we done came. Now they done call themselves coming back and trying to go. He done made the motion to pass the bill when we supposed to be going into recess.
Will not be deterred. Big fan. Big fan. Did somebody pull an alarm, or were there actually tornadoes last night?
There were tornadoes.
Based.
Yeah.
Absolutely based. Will not be deterred. We need more energy like this. We do. And we need it all over the country. We need, and Indiana was such a warning shot across the bow, where those Republicans, they ignored the will of the people, and they were punished severely for it. Democrats are painting this as Donald Trump's revenge. And I made the point yesterday. It's like, no. This is the revenge of the people, because the people wanted this redistricting. The people want to see fight out of their representatives. And when they don't fight, well, you get dealt with at the ballot box, and that's what happened during their primaries. 5 out of the 7 Indiana state Republicans were pushed out. Mike Pence is embarrassed. He was apparently pulling the strings in Indiana, those Rhino State Senate primaries. Of course he was. With friends like these, who needs enemies? Mike Pence, he doesn't make news often, but when he does, we're just disgusted by it. And one of the guys involved in Indiana, Rep. Stutzman, was on with Benny Johnson yesterday talking about Mike.
What does this mean for Mike Pence in the state of Indiana? This is a massive, devastating defeat for Pence, who I think was sort of a dark lord behind the scenes trying to manipulate the situation.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, I worked with Governor Mitch Daniels and then Governor Mike Pence. I worked with Mike Pence in Congress. I had a deep respect for both of them. And I'll tell you what, Benny, if they would have been governor when George W. Bush was president and George W. Bush would have asked them to redistrict, they would have done the same thing. And I think it's a little disingenuous for them now that they're out of office, and because they don't like, whether it's President Trump's personality or whatever it is, for them to work against today's party. I mean, they would have done the same thing if they would have been in office, because we have to stick together as a party to win. And I'm disappointed. It's like, you know what? Just don't say anything.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. It always hurts more. It does. Many such cases. I've done it. I've said it to the kids. I save it. I drop it when it means something. Not mad. Just disappointed. Mike Pence, the dark lord behind Indiana, absolutely embarrassed. They got shellacked. 5 out of the 7 are gone. Yesterday, Republican strategist Ford O'Connell was on Newsmax, and he said the truth about those primary wins and what it really means for President Trump and the current GOP.
Particularly in Indiana, is that Trump is stronger with a Republican base than even Ronald Reagan. His endorsement is platinum, and if you go against his agenda and you're a Republican, you're going to pay a political price. These Indiana Republicans committed political malpractice by not redistricting the state and therefore putting Republican majorities in Congress in jeopardy. And guess what? It's a good thing they paid, because Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, South Carolina, Tennessee, they're on warning now. And if they don't redistrict, then the Republican primary voters are going to make them pay a price.
Amen. Listen, Donald Trump, his agenda is so closely aligned with the Republican base, it's not even funny. His approval ratings are still sky high among Republicans, even with all the extra stuff going on with Iran, which we'll get to later in the show. Looks like that could be done hopefully any day. Hopefully they're reviewing some stuff. Maybe we get some answers today. We're paying attention to that. But this is a win for the people. Finally, they're standing up. They got a guy in the White House that backs them. The people do. And if your representatives don't, well, then you're going to be voted out. The Republican Party is not playing games anymore. Republican voters are waking up en masse when it comes to the fight that we're in. And we understand what happens if Democrats ever get power again. And we only understand it because they've told us again and again and again. We're going to have a Supreme Court that gets packed. We're going to have D.C. and Puerto Rico as states. We're going to have 30 million illegal aliens amnestied. And nobody wants that. This is why you're seeing rhinos on the verge of getting primaried out in states like Texas. John Cornyn puts out ads where he's talking about amnesty and he's talking about the dreamers. And it's like, bro, read the room. Nobody wants any of this. So Ken Paxton's going to get in. They spent $95 million to get Cornyn over the primary with Paxton. I still can't. It's just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. But people want results and they want fighters. We don't want Republicans that sit on their hands until they're in the minority again, so that way they can feign action. Not the time for it. We came into this White House with an unprecedented mandate in November of 2024, January 2025. The energy was high, and we need to keep it going. These fights could potentially be the difference maker when it comes to December of 2026. And what does December of 2026 look like? Does it look like impeachment hearings and investigations and charges for every member of the cabinet? Or does it look like the Donald Trump MAGA agenda moving forward? I think we all want the latter. And if weak Republicans are the ones that are getting in the way, they deserve to be voted out. This is a warning shot. Make no mistake about it. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says that he added 4 seats. He added 4 seats in Florida, and he's being sued by the SPLC. Yep. The same SPLC that is paying Nazis on the side. The same SPLC that is saying that racism is the greatest threat to democracy. That SPLC is suing Ron DeSantis over the +4 Republican map that has been signed into law in Florida. Imagine my shock. Is anybody surprised about this at all? DeSantis said, "We have been sued on the new congressional map by groups represented by lawyers from the Southern Poverty Law Center. Glad to see the SPLC is not on our side." At this point, it's a badge of honor. If you're not making Democrats upset, you're not doing your job. If the SPLC doesn't want to sue you, you're not fighting hard enough. I hope the SPLC tries to sue Tennessee. I do. Can we get some more lawsuits? We need to. If we're not being sued, we're not fighting hard enough. Again, that Florida map signed into law by Governor DeSantis, +4 Republicans. This was just a couple days ago. Oh, hang on. Sorry.
In the state of Florida. The proposal was adopted during a special legislative session last week, as we told you about here on Special Report. The map changes to 21 of Florida's 28 districts and is seen as a big advantage for Republicans. The Florida Secretary of State's office tells Fox News it plans to use the map in upcoming primary elections pending litigation.
That litigation that's pending is from the SPLC. Again, that's a badge of honor. If the SPLC isn't fighting you, well, then we're not doing our job. We're not. This is a huge win. We could be gaining, 14 seats across the board? 14? Which is, we already have a slim majority. It was going to be an uphill battle going into midterms. It's one of the reasons why I had so much heartburn over the Iran conflict. But when we're gaining all these seats, it feels a lot better. So you have fraud Democrats, fraud organizations opposing fair maps. DeSantis saying we've been sued by the new congressional map. Glad to see the SPLC is not on our side. I'm here for it. I'm here for the meltdowns from the Democrats today in the Tennessee General Assembly. I'm sure we're going to get more of them being ushered out of the floor. And I'm sure that nobody's going to cover it with any bit of fairness at all, except for WTN here in Nashville. I'm sorry, I don't have much faith that our news partners on the TV side of things are going to do a good job at covering this. So stay tuned here all day long as myself, Matt Murphy, and Dan Mandis tomorrow continue covering this with the kind of coverage that you need, because we're paying attention here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. On the way, I do want to get into the LA mayor's race because it's wild. The debate last night, it's a blueprint on how you defeat Democrats from Spencer Pratt. Side note, do you have any idea how much money Spencer Pratt has raised in California, Los Angeles, to be particular, so far? It's wild. We know that he's already getting max donations from people like the owners of the Lakers. But I'll tell you how much money he raised on the other side, and we'll bring you some of that audio from the debate last night, which was, again, a masterclass. If there is a conservative out there that is thinking about running against Freddie O'Connell, this is how you defeat a leftist mayor. We'll bring it to you next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Glock store, and we got a favor to ask you. More on that in a second. But I got to tell you about the big open house, which is happening on Saturday, May 30th from 10 to 2. These guys always throw an unbelievable open house. I've been to the last two. They were an unbelievable day. There's always lots to do, always lots to win. Now, last year, they doubled down on the previous year when it came to the raffle. They gave away over $25,000 worth of great gear, including 3 Glocks in one day in 4 hours, twice as much as the year before. That's a lot of raffling. Well, this year, they're so excited about this event, not just the guys at the Glock store, but the vendors as well, that they're going to double down again. Word on the street is they have already secured over $50,000 worth of things to give away in one day, in 4 hours, from Red Dot Optics to Radiant Ramjets. If it is the latest and the greatest, they're giving it away on May 30th. So the favor I mentioned, what is it? Just show up. That's it. Come to the open house on Saturday, May 30th, and win something. The earlier you get there, the less raffle tickets will be in the bucket, the better your chances of winning and winning early. Glock Store's 6th annual Nashville open house, May 30th, 10 to 2, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, especially on May 30th, and always open online, glockstore.com.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis from Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nashville's Morning News. I'm here with Chris from USS, United Structural Systems. He's checking out my basement, my foundation, my crawl space to see if there's anything wrong. Fingers crossed. All right, so there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is we found some cracks in my basement wall. The good news, I've got Chris here who's going to walk me through the next steps.
Yes, so unfortunately, your house has been subject to the pressure of the dirt. The hydrostatic pressure, heavy dirt pushes on foundation walls, and you've got a little bit of what we call bowing. So that wall is pushed in a little bit, but we have a lifetime warranty solution for that. So we install, usually in a day or two, this can be done in most situations, we install carbon fiber straps, which keep the wall from moving inward at any point in the future. It's a lifetime warranty for anybody that ever owns this house. So it's a quick and routine thing that we do, but it yields some long-lasting benefits.
It's a great selling point if you want to sell your house.
Absolutely. Good thing about our warranties is they're not only transferable, like the contract says, they're automatically transferred when you sell your house. So you don't have to sign any paperwork or even send us an email saying that you sold your house. Warranty would transfer to the next owner.
Up ahead, the Tennessee General Assembly meeting at this hour. They're taking up that vote on a newly drawn congressional map. We've got the story at 10 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. Headlines on the way in less than 5 minutes here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I made a error in the last break. I made a mistake. I was corrected on the Super Text line. This is why I lean on you guys. I need y'all.
We work together.
I can't do it on my own. So shout out to 3519. I think I said 5 out of 7 Indiana state senators, 6 out of 8. And one of the races is too close to call. My error. My error.
Still off by 2 though.
I apologize. What's that? I mean, that's a pretty good conversion rate. That's Hall of Fame in baseball.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Not too bad.
It's pretty good. Could have been better.
Yeah.
Could have been better. We could be at 7 out of 8, right? One of them is still too close to call as of right now. Only one of the incumbent won. Greg Good, District 38.
Always room to grow.
District 38 has been a disappointment in Indiana for decades. I don't know. That's the worst. If I had to move to Indiana, I would move anywhere except District 38.
Just slinging accusations.
I don't even know where it is. Where is District 38?
Who knows?
It's not a place you want to be. I know that much. The 6 incumbents that were defeated: Dan Durnolk, Linda Rogers, Travis Holdman, Jim Buck, Greg Walker, Rick Niemeyer. So they're looking for work. Currently unemployed. Gotta love it. One race was too close to call. Spencer Deary versus Paula Copenhaver. District 23. Maybe you don't want to move there. We'll find out soon. Low turnout primaries, a lot of external spending in Indiana. But this is what you need to do to win. And when you don't spend the money, we see losses stack up. I mean, that's what happened in the Commonwealth of Virginia, where Republicans were outspent 3-1. I think it was 20 million to like 80 and change on the Democrat side, which is just abysmal. Maybe there were some calculations behind the scenes that were like, guys, even if even if we lose, this is going to get thrown out by the state Supreme Court, which it looks like it is going to be. As of right now, they're not allowed to use that 10-0 Democrat map? It was 6-5, and it would have gone to 11-0.
Yes.
But as of right now, they can't use that map in the primaries. That's on hold. So maybe there was some internal discussions where they were like, guys, this is never going to fly in Virginia. Why would we spend all that money? Possibly. I hope. Could also just be that the rhinos control the purse strings and they didn't care. Which one's more likely? What do you think?
I'm still honestly confused if you're talking about 2 or 11.
What do you mean?
Saying 11 for different things, like meaning the actual number 11. I can't take you seriously anymore.
Oh, it's fair. Numbers are hard. Speaking of numbers, you ready for this? Hell of a radio segue. The numbers are in. Spencer Pratt is out fundraising both Mayor Karen Bass and LA City Council member Nithya Raman in fundraising.
Since November, the question on the minds of many Angelenos has been, how seriously should we take Spencer Pratt, the former reality TV star, campaign to become the next mayor of Los Angeles? In the past few weeks, we've gotten an answer to that, and which is we need to take it seriously. It was revealed about a week ago that Spencer's campaign had outpaced his two biggest rivals, current mayor Karen Bass and city council member Nithya Raman, in fundraising.
That's massive, guys. That is massive. Now, that was recorded before the debate. And they said, we need to take him very seriously. After the debate last night, I think this guy is the clear-cut favorite to win the mayor of Los Angeles, unless we get shenanigans, which it is L.A. Shenanigans are always a possibility. But what Spencer Pratt did last night on the debate stage needs to be replicated here in Nashville with Mayor Freddie O'Connell running for re-election. We need a good conservative with some spine, some stones, somebody that's going to go for the jugular like Spencer Pratt did last night. I'm going to bring you some of those comments when we get back. It's 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 10 o'clock now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. It is happening. The Tennessee House of Representatives back at work now on the effort to redraw the state's congressional maps. The map both sides have agreed to divvies up Shelby County into 3 separate districts, all of them red. State Rep Johnny Garrett earlier this morning telling Dan Mandis Republicans' goal is nothing short of saving the country.
Regardless of what the maps looked like, the point of this was to make sure that King Jeffries would never become the Speaker of the House, right? That's what's at stake.
The Tennessean reports lawmakers yesterday also approved more than $3 million in one-time funding to reimburse county election commissions for the expense of carrying out changes to the congressional map. A local optometrist has pleaded guilty to nearly $7 million of Medicare fraud over a 3-year period.
The U.S. Attorney's Office says Helen Borman submitted false claims over a 3.5-year period. A judge will sentence her in September.
That's News 2's Mark Kelly. Borman's practice is listed as Brentwood Eye Care. CNN reports Iran is expected to respond today to the U.S. proposal to end the war. Now, this is reportedly a short-term proposal that White House officials say could lead to a more comprehensive deal.
An interim agreement which would mean Iran reopening gradually the Strait of Hormuz, allowing all of those hundreds of trapped commercial vessels in the waters west of there to get out and to export and potentially start alleviating some of the pain on the world's economy, and the U.S. military in return for that gradually beginning to ease the U.S. military blockade on Iranian ports.
That's ABC's Tom Sufi Burridge. We are waiting for remarks from President Trump as he welcomes Brazil's president to the White House. New York City's Mayor Zoran Mamdani may now be regretting making this video.
Annual fee on luxury properties worth more than $5 million, whose owners do not live full-time in the city. Like for this penthouse, which hedge fund CEO Ken Griffin bought for $238 million. This peer-to-tear tax is specifically designed for the
Ken
richest.
Griffin has now decided to expand his company's firm to Miami, adding 1,000 jobs there. He's also on the verge, he said, of scrapping a $6 billion Park Avenue development. And if you're in the market for a used car, there's some good news. CNBC is reporting that used car prices fell last month for the first time since October by about 1.6%. The average listed price of a used vehicle now just over $25,000. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 6 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Hey, how are you? You can listen to us anywhere. All the apps, the FM dial. You can watch us on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. We appreciate you doing so. You can also catch all the podcasts on Apple and Spotify. There's a ton of ways to listen, I think. I only ever listen on the radio. And I watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
And you hit the like button.
I do.
Like a good person.
I usually jump in and I hit like. I am subscribed. It's free
I am
to do.
subscribed.
You're subscribed?
I am subscribed.
Is the new guy subscribed?
Are you subscribed to the YouTube page, Antoine?
Antoine's
Not yet.
in. What?
We'll get him there.
Antoine, if we can just have you make 10 fake profiles as part of your training and hit subscribe, would be a lot closer to our goals.
He'll do it.
Perfect. Let's go. Antoine for the win. So the city of Los Angeles is an absolute mess. Do you know what they're doing? Okay, so you've been downtown, right? You've been downtown to Broadway, Mason?
Yeah, unfortunately.
So you know how like at the intersections, at the corners, they have like the little curb ramp?
Yeah.
Right? And it just like, it's, for people with wheelchairs, there's no step down off the ledge. Do you know how much those cost in the city of Los Angeles to put in and install?
$3 billion.
You're actually pretty close.
Oh no.
You're actually
I was trying to be ridiculous, Chris.
If we were doing the Price is Right model, you would be off, you would be out. but if we were doing like a no whammy, I think you'd be pretty close. $50,000 per corner.
Jeez.
In the city of Los Angeles.
Why?
Let's put that. You want to put that into perspective? One Angelino did just that. I think he's an Angelino. He's wearing an LA Rams Super Bowl champion shirt.
Oh yeah, probably.
So yeah, I would imagine he's an Angelino. He said, "Let's talk about what we could do instead of paying $50,000 per cement curb ramp for wheelchair access and eased access." You ready?
Things that cost less than a curb ramp in LA. An American's yearly income. 5 of the same curb ramps in Beverly Hills. A full college degree where you could learn to build curbs affordably. A Tesla Model Y, a backyard pool. A teeny home for the homeless. And with 4 curbs per intersection and 50,000 intersections, that's $10 billion, which could afford a teeny home for every homeless person in California.
Yep. So
I love that last one.
You could.
That's huge.
You could. I mean, California is completely mismanaged. And I'm bringing this up because we're well on our way there with Nashville. Right? Like, I think you can make the argument that we're already there with the way property taxes are rising, businesses are being forced out of the city. It's not looking the same. There's an Instagram account. What is it? 615 Nav. Is that who it is on Instagram? But he did the street view of Nashville, and it does, they went and got the archive street view from 2009, and then they did 2012, and they did 2016, and then they did 2020, 25, so on. It's completely different, and a lot of people feel like, that Nashville magic is being ripped out of the city and replaced with this soulless, fake illusion of what used to make Nashville so cool. I think one of the issues that we have currently is Mayor Freddie O'Connell, who's running for re-election. WSMV said this. You ready? This is their headline. Turning progress into permanence. Would you like the policies that Mayor Freddie O'Connell has brought to this city, the property tax raises and increases, the forcing out of local businesses? Do you want that to be permanent? Well, that's what Freddie O'Connell is saying could happen. He's announced that he will run for re-election. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell has announced he'll be running for re-election in 2027. O'Connell says he wants to continue getting results for the people of Nashville and Davidson County while creating a clear vision for the city's future. What results have we seen? Can anybody point to the results? He said he wants to focus on, get ready for this, affordability, infrastructure, and making Nashville for everyone. Stunning and brave. Stunning and brave. Listen, Nashville is not immune to liberal policies. In fact, it is going to be their downfall if we let it. And we have seen great cities across this country do just that. Some of the greatest cities in the entire world have been absolutely devastated by liberal Democrat policies over the past few decades. Let's go down the list, shall we? Chicago, Detroit, New York City, Los Angeles. Do you want Nashville to be on that list? Do you? I mean, we saw what they did in Memphis. They did a great job, bang-up job. They did awesome. Everybody loves it. It was stunning. It was brave. So we need a solid conservative challenger to Freddie O'Connell. I don't know if we'll get one, and if we do get one, I don't even know if they could win. But let's be perfectly honest. We need something else. So I would say we need to look to the L.A. mayor's race, because if there's a bluer city than Nashville, it's Los Angeles. And Spencer Pratt is doing a hell of a job. 100%. There's no getting around it. He is out fundraising Karen Bass and City Councilwoman Nithya Raman. And last night on the debate stage, Spencer Pratt put on an absolute clinic on how you deal with these leftist, liberal, progressives, commies, and socialists. Let's start here. I got some good clips from it. One of the questions was about public safety, okay? And they wanted to know about the size of LAPD and the budget of LAPD and how they get more officers, not just at the police department, but at the fire department. Spencer Pratt attacks it with common sense.
In many cases, what is your strategy for getting more people, recruiting more officers and paying for them?
You know, it's more expensive than hiring them is overtime, because that's what these salaries for the fire department that everyone's complaining about. Everyone's understaffed. So first off, I'm going to bring hiring back to the LAPD. Right now, the LAPD is hired by the same people that hire sanitation, and we need to bring it back like it was 20 plus years ago so that police hire police, and we need a 10-year plan. It's going to take 10 years to get to the 12,500 officers that we need, and that needs to be a priority. Our sheriff's partner, they're the same size. They have $1 billion more budget for the same size. So this idea that Councilwoman Rahman keeps saying that the police department is overfunded, public safety should be our #1 priority. And we're going to find all this money when we stop her useless open bed plans that actually doesn't put drug addicts in these housing that we're spending billions of dollars. And we're going to actually start checking where this money is going. Not to mention, when you get rid of all the drug addicts off the street, the police won't be responding to the drug addicts all day long. Thank you.
Common sense. Smooth, calm, cool, collected. Nailed it. Knocked it out of the park. You know what's more expensive than paying police officers? Paying them overtime. You know what would help the police on the street? If they weren't responding to the homeless crisis and the drug addicts out there. But then he dropped an absolute bomb. And this was the highlight of the night. You may have already seen this. It has been going absolutely massively viral. So Councilwoman Nithya Rahman has vowed to fix the homeless crisis, and she has done a heck of a job throwing money at the problem, but no real progress on fixing the tent cities or removing the homeless. And Spencer Pratt absolutely demolishes this woman in one line. She has no chance of winning. After I heard this, it was like, okay, we got a 2-horse race now. It's Karen Bass versus Spencer Pratt, because what we witnessed on stage after this comment from Spencer Pratt, I'm surprised he wasn't brought up on charges in Los Angeles for a murder, because we witnessed a murder of a political career. He was asked about the homeless, and he said the open bed policy that they have, what they call it inside safe. You know, get the homeless people inside and everybody will be more safe, right? Spencer Pratt torched Nithya Rahman on her plan for inside safe. Listen to this. This is honestly, it's something of beauty.
I want to say, Councilwoman Rahman acts like she doesn't have any authority with this homelessness. She was the 3rd most powerful person in city council. She runs the homeless housing thing. She acts like this is just Mayor Bass. First off, inside safe, I like to say inside safe makes all of us outside unsafe. The reality is, no matter how many beds you give these people, they are on super meth. They are on fentanyl. The DEA statistic says 93% of this is a drug addiction problem. Councilwoman Rahman's plan for treatment first, I will go below the Harbor Freeway tomorrow with her, and we can find some of these people she's going to offer treatment for. She's going to get stabbed in the neck. These people do not want a bed. They want fentanyl or super meth. These ideas cost us over $400 million to house for 70, what did you say? 3,000 people for $400 million? This is an absolute failure for both of them. They're a team.
Demolished. He said, you want to come down there and find some people? You're going to get stabbed in the neck. And he's absolutely right. This is what toxic empathy looks like, and this is what you get from liberal Democrats. He said, you want to go down there? We can talk to him. I'll bring you underneath the bridge. You're going to get stabbed in the neck.
Drug addiction problem. Councilwoman Rahman's plan for treatment first, I will go below the Harbor Freeway tomorrow with her, and we can find some of these people she's going to offer treatment for. She's going to get stabbed in the neck.
Oh, jeez. Listen, that is harsh. That is brutal. That is the freaking reality, my friends. That's the reality. That's the way it goes. It's not just L.A. It's San Francisco. It's all the big cities in California. It's leaching out into the suburbs. It's going into the neighborhoods where these individuals live. All the elite members of California, they don't have to deal with these problems. The citizens do. And they don't care. This is how you take them down. What has Freddie O'Connell done to fix the homelessness problem in Nashville? Does anybody know? Anybody? Is it getting fixed? Or they just keep busing them to Murfreesboro? Are we allowed to say that? Are we allowed to say that they're busting them to Murfreesboro? Everybody knows it. Everybody in the borough is aware. It's like, can we turn the buses around? Seriously. This is what we need. Common sense, brutal honesty. Absolute savage truth. That's the only thing these people will understand. And then when there's times where the politicians could answer questions honestly, we get word salads from the left. And Spencer Pratt answers it very quickly. This is a yes or no question. You ready? Should non-citizens be allowed to vote in local elections?
This is a yes or no question and answer. So there's an LA council member. He wants voters to decide. He is saying that non-citizens, should they be allowed to vote in local elections? Is this a yes or no, Mr. Pratt?
No.
Mayor Bass?
It depends. It's not a yes or no.
Depends on what?
Well, first of all, when you say non-citizens, it doesn't mean they're here illegal. It doesn't mean they're undocumented. They could have green cards. They could be here perfectly legal. And there's a lot of states and cities that do that on very, very local elections. We have to see what the councilman is proposing.
Councilmember Bremen.
Yeah, I would say, again, it does depend. In other places, school boards have non-citizens.
Yes or no?
Non-citizens who vote
Mr. Pratt, I have a question for you.
Yes or no, guys? Yes or no? It depends. That's a yes, actually. If they have to say it depends, that's a yes. They want illegal aliens voting in local elections. Probably because these liberal Democrats understand that the only way that they can get elected is to have illegal aliens voting in their elections. No. The answer we were looking for is no. It's just... I mean, this is just a repeat, essentially, of what we saw at the governor's debate in California the other night, where Katie Porter, she's like, the only reason that we're even growing in California is the illegal aliens. So it's like, what? Is that a badge of honor? Hardworking Americans are fleeing your state? And listen, let's be perfectly honest. Objectively, one of the most beautiful states in the entire country being destroyed. We have a great city here in Tennessee. It's called Nashville. Objectively, liberal policies are destroying it. Everybody knows it. You can't walk downtown without smelling weed and street juice. Does anybody take their kids downtown anymore? Anybody? Has Freddie done anything to clean it up? Or just force local businesses out? We need a strong conservative candidate who is going to bring savage, hardcore truth and realities to a debate stage. That's the only way we can win. That's it. That's it. I pray we get somebody. I don't know if we will. At one point, though, Spencer Pratt, Nathia Rahman. This is how you know they're losing. This is all that they have. She called him a MAGA Republican. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to see this reaction from Spencer Pratt, where he essentially does what my daughter does to me from time to time that she gets grounded for. He does the roll his eyes and like, whatever. And it's like, it is one of the funniest moments. This is something that you need to see on YouTube, but I'll play it for the YouTube audience and I'll describe it for everybody else.
I'm not sure how to respond to that vision of Los Angeles. This is a MAGA Republican's idea of what Los Angeles looks like. This is really not.
He's like, ooh, MAGA Republican, ooh. Like, your boos mean nothing because we've seen what makes you cheer. Ooh. That's the best way. If you're only listening on the radio, and I was to translate the look that Spencer Pratt, they panned the camera over to him for what, a second and a half? Not even. Probably less than a second. And if I could translate his look into English, it would be, ooh.
That's gold, Jerry. Gold.
1022, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Up ahead, we are still waiting on word from the state capitol as lawmakers take up that new congressional map. We've got the story at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. 1026 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. So I got a text here from 4110. Kids shouldn't be downtown. Talking about Nashville. Isn't that the problem? Like, isn't that the issue that we're dealing with? I can't bring my kids to a hockey game on a Saturday night without having to see the homeless or people vomiting in the streets or saying that's not a puddle, don't jump in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's exactly the issue that we're highlighting here. That's street juice. That's not a puddle, son. What? Dude. Seriously, many such cases. Also, people reacting to this, the verbal.
I'm not sure how to respond to that vision of Los Angeles. This is a MAGA Republicans' idea of what Los Angeles looks like. This is really not.
It's funny. My wife is big Spencer Pratt fan. She has actually been on the Spencer Pratt train for mayor way before I was. Before I even thought that he should be taken seriously. She's been telling me no. You got to take him seriously. Like, he has the hearts of the people there, especially after the wildfires. But she sent me this text, and it's Spencer Pratt, and it's on Instagram, and it's a picture of Mayor Karen Bass with Donald Trump. How come nobody calls her a MAGA Republican? He said, this just shows you what a fake politician Karen Bass really is. She spends her entire career demonizing anybody who supports the president, but once the polls show that she's losing races to the White House, desperate for Trump to give her a talking point for the upcoming mayoral debate, we need to get rid of these phony politicians who do nothing but play partisan politics while regular people who just want their problem solved get left out hanging. Again, I understand that this is in Los Angeles, but I think that it really does have a lot of parallels here in Nashville. Am I wrong for thinking that? I feel like I don't think so. Somebody else said 7789 texted it about downtown. Said if downtown is not for kids, then why is there a bleeping candy store? Good point. Downtown. I thought downtown was supposed to be for everyone, right? That's what Mayor Freddie said in his thing, in his little announcement. He's gonna make Nashville for everyone. For everyone. Okay. I guess. Is it for everyone? With the juice and the homeless, the weed smoke. I mean, you tell me. I don't know. Maybe I'm a prude. Maybe I'm looking into it the wrong way. But Spencer Pratt. Well, I got one more clip. I didn't have enough time to do it the last one. But this is after the debate, okay? And they're in the spin room after the debate, and he's got a local news there, local NBC affiliate, that asked him whether or not he has the experience to run a city as large as L.A. And his response is absolutely perfect.
Look at the city right now. Look at what their experience has done. They don't want to talk about their experience because that would bring up what your experience living under their leadership is. All I need to do is surround myself with people who don't call in bomb threats to City Hall. The mayor's deputy mayor, when she was in Ghana, when my house was burning down, he was under house arrest because he called in a bomb threat. I just got off the phone with my potential deputy mayor, Chief Bobby Garcia from the U.S. Forest Service, right before this debate, because I didn't know if the question would come up about public safety. And I said, when you retire, sir, you ready to be my deputy mayor? He said, let's talk. As in, I'm bringing in experts. My job as mayor is to just make sure our tax money is not being stolen and laundered to increase problems, which is happening right now. 4 more years, these people, another $1 billion, more drug addicts all over the street.
That's it. You're worried about my experience? How about the experience that we've had under these individuals? Is that the experience that you want to continue? And I would ask you the same question for Nashville. If you're a strong conservative and you're not sure if you should throw your hat in the ring, because you don't have the experience. Have we had a good experience under Mayor Freddie O'Connell? Have we? Has the city gotten better under Mayor Freddie? What's gotten better? I think that we need some people to rise up and get involved. And if you feel a calling on your life to do it, I implore you to do so. 1030, Super Talk, 99.7, WTN.
Good morning. It's now 10:31. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories, and we're waiting on word now from the Tennessee State Capitol as lawmakers vote on that gerrymandered map that carves out the only Democrat district, handing Republicans all congressional districts in the state. Nashville police are investigating after being called to a home on Due West Avenue yesterday. Here's Channel 4's Steve Mailing.
According to Metro Police, a family clearing out the home of their loved one who recently died came across the remains of an unborn baby. Police said a 25-year-old told them she recently had a stillbirth. Police did not give an exact timeline of when it happened, but said they're now investigating the incident and will do an autopsy.
In Georgia, a federal judge has ruled that the Department of Justice is not obligated to return the files it seized from Fulton County election offices from the 2020 election. And now we have learned, too, that the DOJ has also demanded the names and contact information for every election worker in Fulton County involved in the 2020 election. Elections officials call that harassment. They're asking a federal court to call off the feds, waiting on that decision from the judge now. There was outrage in San Diego over an ICE operation recently. This is how it sounded on a local TV station.
Local immigration groups demanding answers after they say CBP detained workers from 2 cruise ships docked here in San Diego. The incident late last month captured.
Now, one of those ships was a Disney cruise, and all 28 of the workers arrested were alleged child predators. CBP says all of their visas have now been canceled and they'll be removed from the country. Disney says it fully cooperated with law enforcement. That's the latest news. Stick around for your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
37 minutes past the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name's Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Did you see that the president was in the Oval Office yesterday and he had an impromptu UFC 250 bash? Did you see that? Is it just me? I'll be honest with you. You know what's better than the best UFC fight of all time? Well, it's Undertaker versus Mankind in Hell in the Cell, 1998, obviously. Obviously. It's Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker at WrestleMania, ending the streak, obviously. It's Razor versus Shawn, ladder match, WrestleMania 10.
Obviously.
It's Austin versus Brett, submission match, WrestleMania 13.
Obviously.
So, I don't know. I don't really watch the UFC. I'm kidding. I'm like half joking. I know. I'm gonna piss off the UFC people.
Give me a break.
Well, I'm just letting you know. When Mike Tyson knocked out Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14 in Boston, that was a moment.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I'm just saying, I get that people like the UFC, but I'm listing iconic moments here.
Moments that live in people's memories for ages.
When Taker tossed Mankind off the roof of the cell, by God, I thought he was dead. He was broken in half. So, I don't know. If it's free, I'll watch it.
Look at the city right now.
If it's free, I'll watch it. I think it is going to be free, right?
I think so.
There is something really cool about UFC being done on the White House lawn for the 4th of July.
Yeah.
I just wished it was WWF. And I do say WWF.
Although, do you want Logan Paul on the White House lawn?
Fair point.
I'm just saying.
Fair point. I don't think the president does because they didn't even offer an invite. UFC 250, though, they were showing off some pictures. Dude, it looks sick. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, you got the White House all lit up in the background, the flagpoles. You got the octagon in front of it. It looks so sick. I'm not going to lie to you. It looks sick.
Wow. The media's going to go crazy.
Not bad, right?
Not bad.
Championship belt. Dana White was here last night. Did you know that? He was here last night. He loves this guy.
Here's what I'm saying, though. We do the UFC-style fight, but to win, you have to climb the ladder and get that belt. Everybody would love it more.
He loves all of them. Here's another one. This is another. They're going all the way out, all online. It's all people invited. Our country is invited to this. It's free. And, in the park right across the street, they're going to have, I guess, anywhere from 75 to 100,000 people, free. They're going to set up 8 big screens, and they're going to have the fight. And then out here, we're going to have 4,000 seats right in front of the front door of the White House. The hardest ticket I've ever had to.
The best live show on earth.
This will be the greatest show on earth. Is at night. That's all lighting and cover.
Is everybody excited about America's 250? It's as we get closer and closer, it's going to be pretty badass. They also have they got the Formula 1 races that are going to be going on, but that's after the 4th of July, right? I think that's in August.
I believe so, yeah.
But that's also going to be free. I just, I'm a WrestleMania guy. Just, I'd bring up more iconic fights. Somebody texted me, said, what about Eddie Guerrero win the belt? Yeah. And then that other unnamed guy that the WWF never mentions also won a belt that night. But we're excited about it. I think it's cool what the president is doing to celebrate America's 250th birthday. He had a group of fighters with him in the Oval Office as well. And I just think it's cool. This is promo. This is what he does best. And he was selling it. The guy's a showman. And listen, he hosted You remember he hosted WrestleManias at the Atlantic Trump Hotel in Atlantic City, New Jersey at the time. He loves the big fight atmosphere.
And but these are real warriors. When we talk about warriors, these are warriors. Cyril Gane, these are all champions. I have to say champions, and most of many of you know who they are. Cyril.
I have no idea who he is.
Great honor. Alex Pereira, I've seen him knock out a lot of people. That's what he does. He knocks out people. Congratulations on an unbelievable career. Wow.
That's what he does. He knocks people out. Congratulations. Congratulations. Did I mention congratulations? There was another fighter there, Ilya Tuporia. And he was like, man, I'll be honest with you, Mr. President, I didn't think you were going to be so nice.
Well, the biggest event in sports history. I also want to thank God to give us this beautiful day and to give us the opportunity to experience how it feels to be in our Oval Office. So it's going to be amazing, and we want to thank you for this experience. And I never thought you will be so kind.
Well, I have a false image.
Yeah.
I heard Orange Man bad. That's what I hear. I hear Nazi. I hear racist. I hear Orange Tyrant. Did not think you'd be so nice. I have a false image. Yeah, I love it. Listen, I'm here for it. Obviously, as this is going on, the press is just filling the room, right? And as the press fills the room, President Trump starts answering questions. The questions obviously aren't about UFC 250, as cool as it looks. Nobody cares. Nobody in attendance really cares at all. They care more about what's going on with Iran. And President Trump said he was faced with a question that said, sir, you're facing an opponent right now that refuses to submit. It was like, really, hey, spot up job from the reporter. He kept it UFC themed, right? They're not tapping out, sir. They're not tapping out. And President Trump said, why do you say that? You have no idea what's going on. And I just love the energy.
You're facing an opponent right now in Iran that has refused to submit. You seem optimistic now as we maybe push through a deal. What's different about this moment now than in other moments where a deal has seemed close?
I mean, A for effort on keeping the question UFC themed. A bit cheesy, a bit lame, but A for effort.
Well, why do you say they refused to submit? You don't know that. You don't know what's going on behind
U.S. ships a few days ago.
Yeah, no, a few days ago is a long time ago. In the world of war, a few days ago. No, they want to make a deal badly. And we'll see if we get there. If we get there, they can't have nuclear weapons. It's very simple. But what's not to submit? So they had a Navy with 159 ships, and now every ship is blown to pieces and lying at the bottom of the water. They had an Air Force, lots of planes, and they don't have any planes. They don't have any anti-aircraft. They don't have any radar left. Their missiles are mostly decimated. They have some. They have probably 18, 19%, but not a lot by comparison to what they had. And their leaders are all dead. So I think we won. Now it's only a question of, look, if we left right now Iran, it would take them 20 years to rebuild. You would call that, we're in good shape, right? Fantastic shape.
The USA, fantastic shape, sir. Fantastic shape. Listen, he said, how do you know? You're not in the room, Mr. Reporter. Things change in a matter of days in the context of war. And the president is absolutely right. Currently, right now, the chance of President Trump striking a permanent peace deal with Iran on Polymarket has surged to more than 70%. 70% chance that it happens this year. Now, I wouldn't lean too much into that, except for the fact that there was a U.S. soldier betting on the capture of Maduro, who should be freed, by the way. He shouldn't be charged for that. He bet for his team to win. So maybe there's some insiders in Polymarket that are betting in Polymarket now because they know that a peace deal is imminent. Donald Trump did say that Iran has confirmed, Donald Trump confirmed that Iran has agreed to no nuclear weapons when it comes to the peace deal. And he did this yesterday during the UFC 250 event at the White House inside the Oval Office when they were promoting the event.
An excursion down to Iran because we can't let them have a nuclear weapon. Look, and this is very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon because as tough as they are, we want to keep them alive. We want to keep all of you alive. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't. And they've agreed to that, among other things, yeah.
And they've agreed to that, among other things. So there was a 14-point peace plan that was being discussed yesterday via Axios. Ducey got his hands on that peace plan. He was breaking it down on Fox News. Here's what it entails.
Very fast, Harris, and you were just talking about this. We've got the details of this 14-point plan, according to Axios. Under the banner, U.S. and Iran closing in on one-page memo to end the war. We've got these: a 5-year ban on nuclear enrichment, which would be less than the 20-year ban President Trump previously said he didn't like. There would be limits of 4% enrichment after that. There would be a ban on underground nuclear facilities, a vow to never seek a nuclear weapon, commitment to enhanced nuclear inspections, and an end to restrictions on travel through the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump, though, is telling the New York Post it's too soon right now to schedule a new round of in-person talks with Iran. So this is a very high-stakes game of telephone, still led by Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner.
No Vance. That's interesting. That's interesting. Is there a rift with Vance and Trump? Does anybody know? Anybody know? You know, speaking of Polymarket, we mentioned that earlier. There's been a surge in Polymarket odds that Rubio will become the nominee in 2028. And I think part of that has to do with behind-the-scenes stuff with Vance. Vance, his Senate campaign was funded by Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel also funded the Tucker Carlson network. Tucker Carlson's son, Buckley, most recently worked inside the Vance, the vice president's office for J.D. Vance. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. Maybe there's something there, but it feels like Vance has been a bit silent on the Iran front. We know how Tucker feels about the Iran war. Does J.D. Vance feel the same way? Where's he been at? I mean, he's talking about fraud. He did some events in Iowa, but he's been really silent. And Rubio has taken a front and center kind of face here with the administration recently. And if you pay attention to random stuff like what was Kalshi? It wasn't even Polymarket. It was Kalshi. The Kalshi odds for Rubio, they're now favoring him to win the presidency over Gavin Newsom and J.D. Vance. They got Rubio at 20%, Vance at 18%, Gavin Newsom at 17%. Again, we have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to the Republican side. I'm not anti-Vance by any stretch of the imagination. I think he would do a good job, and I think that he understands the American story, the new American story, in a way that very few politicians don't. I mean, he's from a town that was absolutely ripped apart by NAFTA. He had a drug-addicted mother. So many of us have a similar kind of story in this country. So I'm not ruling Vance out, but I do think it's odd that he's kind of been in the back, quiet, as all of this stuff has been going on. They sent him out there for peace talks. It was unsuccessful. And since then, we haven't gotten much out of Vance. Rubio, on the other hand, has been front and center. This video has been going viral on X overnight.
I got to ask you, what is your hope for America at a time such as this?
My hope for America? My hope for America is what it's always been. I think it's the hope I hope we all share. We want it to continue to be the place where anyone from anywhere can achieve anything, where you're not limited by the circumstances of your birth, by the color of your skin, by your ethnicity, but frankly, it's a place where you are able to overcome challenges and achieve your full potential. I think that should be the goal of every country in the world, but I think in the U.S., we're not perfect. Our history is not one of perfection, but it's still better than anybody else's history. Now, ours is a story of perpetual improvement. Each generation has left the next generation of Americans freer, more prosperous, safer, and that is our goal as well. And as we come upon this 250-year anniversary, I think we have a lot to learn and be proud of in our history. It is one of perpetual and continuous improvement, where each generation has done its part to bring us closer to fulfilling the vision that the founders of this country had upon its founding.
Goosebumps. I mean, there's a reason why that's going viral. It's 10:51, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Lot of people on the roads today, and we've got stuff in the way in Goodlettsville. 65 southbound is closed right there at mile marker 100 because of an overturned vehicle. Talbot's Corner, we got a crash reported. 65 southbound at I-24, and it is happening. The Tennessee House of Representatives back at work on the effort to redraw Tennessee's congressional maps. We got all this and more coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Are you telling us to cue the Ron Paul meme? It's happening! Sorry, I'm here for it. I love seeing some fight. I do. We talked about this earlier before you got in. I think that my favorite part is the salt. The absolute salt coming from the left.
Right.
I mean, they keep coming. They're coming in and...
Well, they're coming in on race, and that's what the Supreme Court ruled against.
It's just hilarious. Did you hear Stacey Abrams, though, yesterday?
Oh, no, I did not.
So Stacey Abrams was in town. Hold on, let me pull it up because you got to hear this. Stacey Abrams called us radical Republicans because of what's going on in the redistricting wars. But like all of the examples that she pointed to was like good things Republicans did, and then she brought up Jim Crow, and it's like, hey, ma'am, that was the Democrats.
The result of
Here, hold on, let me turn this up. This is Stacey Abrams.
the result of the Supreme Court decision that essentially gutted Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act.
Gutted it.
But I think it's important for us to understand the necessity of the Voting Rights Act. When the radical Republicans in post-Civil War, when they pushed through three core amendments, it was the 13th Amendment to end slavery, the 14th Amendment that guaranteed birthright citizenship, and the 15th Amendment that guaranteed the right to vote. Because in a democracy, the right to vote is sacrosanct, but it is also the passport to participation. Unfortunately, that was soon followed by Jim Crow.
So just in case you're keeping score at home, the radical Republicans, they ended slavery.
Yeah.
The radical Republicans gave birthright citizenship, which is like a cell phone also there, because that's exactly what birthright citizenship was for slaves and the descendants of slaves.
Yes, sir.
And they gave them the right to vote, African Americans the right to vote. And then came Jim Crow, which was pushed by Democrats.
Yes, sir.
That's her argument.
She didn't mention any Democrats, though.
No, just radical Republicans. Isn't that crazy? Those radical Republicans ended slavery. Those radical Republicans gave black people the right to vote. Those radical Republicans gave them citizenship. And then came Jim Crow.
Yeah.
Got it. Are you keeping score at home? I'm keeping score at home. This is the modern-day Democrat Party. You nailed it, Stacey. And I mentioned this earlier, Ken.
You nailed it.
She nailed it. The Tennessee Hauler posted this, which is like a leftist liberal outlet in Tennessee. I think the guy's from California that runs the account. Spoiler alert. And he kept posting these videos where he's like, it's like, oh, we're owning these racist Republicans. And I'm like, are you listening to them? He posted this one, too, from Walter Bailey. Mr. Bailey.
The Voting Rights Act bill was passed on the heel of a terrible assassination in Memphis, Dr. King's death, when he took a bullet in the neck.
So for starters, the Voting Rights Act was passed before the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. The assassin of Martin Luther King Jr. was James Earl Ray, a Democrat, and Democrats are still shooting people in the neck today. These are the owns that liberal leftist outlets like the Tennessee Hauler are posting. Mind-numbing. It's 11 o'clock. Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
$11 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Again, drivers, 65 southbound through Goodlettsville is closed because of an overturned vehicle. Traffic is stopped there at Bethel Road. That's about 4 miles away from where the accident is. It's happening. Tennessee House of Representatives back at work on the effort to redraw the state's congressional maps. Both sides agreed they'll divvy up Shelby County into 3 separate districts, all of them red. State Rep Johnny Garrett earlier this morning telling WTN's Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis Republicans' goal is nothing short of saving the country.
Regardless of what the maps looked like, the point of this was to make sure that King Jeffries would never become the Speaker of the House. Right? That's what's at stake.
Tennessean reports lawmakers yesterday also approved more than $3 million in one-time funding to reimburse county election commissions for the expense of carrying out the changes to the congressional map this year. Officials with the World Health Organization say this latest outbreak of the hantavirus on board a cruise ship doesn't have the hallmarks of the coronavirus pandemic that paralyzed the world 6 years ago. A spokesperson says the hantavirus spreads by either close personal contact with someone who has contracted it or by rodents.
This is not COVID. This is not influenza. It spreads very, very differently. So there are different precautions that people are taking.
There have been 5 confirmed cases of the virus with 6 suspected cases. 3 people have died. Officials say that those people are in the hospital. Those who are in the hospital, I should say, are stable. Sources telling ABC News the U.S. and Iran negotiating over a memorandum of understanding, not a full-fledged agreement, but a short-term proposal that the White House says could lead to a more comprehensive deal. We get more from ABC's Tom Sufi-Burridge in Tel Aviv.
An interim agreement which would mean Iran reopening gradually the Strait of Hormuz, allowing all of those hundreds of trapped commercial vessels in the waters west of there to get out and to export and potentially start alleviating some of the pain on the world's economy. And the U.S. military, in return for that, gradually beginning to ease the U.S. military blockade on Iranian ports.
Now, gasoline prices are high, and they're going to stay that way for a while, regardless of what happens. We're $4.25 on average here in Middle Tennessee, according to Gas Buddy today. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. ICE has been doing a lot of work. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but we've had some movement everywhere from L.A. to Virginia and places in between. Tom Homan was on with Laura Ingraham last night, and he's pretty upset, and rightfully so. You see, Tom Homan is reacting to the insufferable governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, and Hochul said that Homan said Trump won't send ICE agents unless I ask. He's not asking. Kathy Hochul doesn't want them showing up wearing masks. And he's like, yeah, guess what? We're flooding these cities with ICE agents.
Mr. Homan is that Donald Trump himself said he would not send a surge of ICE agents to the state of New York unless I ask. I'm not asking.
Tom, she says she's not asking, so essentially butt out.
Well, Governor Hochul, I'm not asking either. I said it, we're going to do it. No, she wants to sign legislation. She supports this legislation. It's going to lock us out of jails. It's going to end 287G agreements. And it's going to prevent us from arresting a criminal alien in the safety and security of a jail. We have partnerships in New York, throughout the state. Not everywhere, but she wants to end the partnerships we currently have, which means now we got to send a whole team to look for a criminal that we could arrest in the safety and security of a jail, which is safer for the officers, safer for the alien, certainly safer for the community. So you're forcing us into the neighborhoods to find this person, which means since we lost the efficiencies of the jails that you want to lock us out of, now we got to send a whole team out there to find this person. So, of course, we're going to increase manpower a lot. And not only that, she says she wants to protect the migrant communities. Really? Because now we arrest an illegal alien. We can't rent a bed from any of the sheriffs in New York State. So what are we going to do? We're going to arrest that illegal alien. We're going to fly them to Texas, Arizona, to one of our detention facilities there, away from their families, away from their attorneys. This is what we have to do because she forces us in this position. And we're going to do it. They're not going to stop us. They can put all the roadblocks they want, but we're going to do this job.
It's toxic empathy. That's what we get with these Democrats. And everything they do makes things worse. They'll say, you can't get them in the jails. And then they'll say, why did you kill Renee Nicole Good? Well, she tried to run over an ICE agent who was trying to apprehend an illegal alien on the streets because ICE agents weren't allowed in the jails. Different state, same problem. Then the ICE agents are dealing with the protesters and the leftists and the agitators. And when something bad happens because ICE is going to have to defend themselves, they'll blame ICE agents without looking in the mirror. Kathy Hochul is an absolute joke. She doubled down on it earlier today.
Theft. Stop domestic violence. They're not there to do the federal government's bidding.
So Governor Kathy Hochul also said that President Trump promised her before that he wouldn't just flood New York with ICE agents, that he would ask her first. But if you ask Border Czar Tom Homan, he says he doesn't need her permission.
No, he doesn't. And he should be going after every single illegal alien wherever they can find them. I think that it is past time for the administration to move away from the talking point of the worst first. You've had about a year and a half to do so. Now we need to go after everybody, and they're doing it. So they're going to be flooding New York City. Also, on the other side of the country, on the left coast, Los Angeles, MacArthur Park was completely raided yesterday. I don't know how much you know about MacArthur Park, but I've talked to quite a few investigative journalists who have been inside MacArthur Park. That's where they're selling fake IDs and Social Security cards and drugs, a lot of drugs. The super meth that Spencer Pratt was talking about on the debate stage last night in L.A., the meth, the fentanyl. And yesterday, there was a massive raid in Los Angeles targeting MacArthur Park in Los Angeles.
In a massive raid in Los Angeles targeting what is described as just an open-air drug market. Matt Finn, very familiar with this area of Los Angeles. He has the details. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Dana. MacArthur Park is supposed to be a family park, but it's known for brazen drug use, and two gangs fight for control of it, MS-13 and their rival 18th Street Gang. I went to the historic park yesterday, just hours before the federal raid. I saw people getting high, and all around were people apparently doing what's called the fentanyl fold.
Yeah, the fentanyl fold. To be fair, those MS-13 gang members and those 18th Street gang members, they're just doing the jobs Americans don't want to do. I don't know how many Americans want to work for gangs involved in a turf war, but the numbers are dangerously low. So we need to import more of these illegal aliens because Americans, they just don't have the same gumption to engage in a turf war like they used to. Sorry. That's what they tell us. Oh, they're doing the jobs Americans don't want to do. Yeah, maybe. Mason, have you gotten any part-time work in turf wars? No? Apparently it's good. If it's good money if you can get it. But the fentanyl fold is happening in the park. This is a family park in Los Angeles. Think about how many taxes they're paying in Los Angeles, and you can't even use the local park because there's gang turf wars going on, and there's fentanyl junkies bent over.
People's bodies fold in half while on fentanyl. I also saw a young man hit the ground, go unconscious. He was revived by LA homeless workers who told him he overdosed, and they left him with boxes of Narcan.
And probably some clean needles.
Now, shortly after that, 300 federal and local agents stormed the area. They cleared the park. They cut locks on storefronts where drug dealers allegedly stashed product, 6 businesses in total. The DEA tells me they did a 2-month undercover investigation and determined the Sinaloa cartel brings fentanyl and meth into Los Angeles, and it's sold and distributed from the park. 25 people are federally charged, including a female ringleader and her boyfriend associated with the 18th Street gang. Now, in one stash house alone, 40 pounds of fentanyl was recovered. Street value, $8 to $10 million, the equivalent of 190,000 potentially fatal doses.
Americans just don't want to sell fentanyl. So we have to have these illegal aliens coming in here to help. They're doing the jobs Americans don't want to do.
Makes sense.
I mean, honestly. Also, I don't know if you're watching on Super Talk TV, but if you are, you'll notice the amazing packaging that they have of the fentanyl. It's in brick form, wrapped up in tape with swastikas drawn on them. Maybe the gangs are getting hip to the game, and the Sinaloa cartel is like, no, bro. If we put a swastika on it, they'll blame white supremacists. Because that's the greatest threat to the country, right? It's the evil, dangerous white supremacists.
We're here today because California policies have failed.
Amen.
The policies of California to just let people use drugs open and notoriously with little to no criminal consequences is a failed experiment.
Now, this massive bus came just hours before a debate in the LA mayor's race, where each candidate, including current mayor Karen Bass, was asked yes or no on whether they would keep LA's program that hands out clean needles to users.
It's run by the city, the city-run needle program.
Right.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Councilmember Rahman?
No.
Mr. Pratt?
Absolutely no needles and pipes for drug addicts on the street.
I mean, Spencer Pratt was just a home run last night. I played this clip a little earlier ago, and I think it's worth playing again because these are the disenfranchised. These are the ones that need help. And if we just had a few more $100 million for these recovery programs, we would be able to get these homeless off the street, right? Wouldn't we? I mean, they spent $400 million on 3,000 beds. And this is happening all over LA. It's not just MacArthur Park, but Spencer Pratt absolutely knocked this out of the park.
I want to say, Councilwoman Robin acts like she doesn't have any authority with this homelessness. She was the 3rd most powerful person in city council. She runs the homeless housing thing. She acts like this is just Mayor Bass. First off, inside safe. I like to say inside safe makes all of us outside unsafe. The reality is no matter how many beds you give these people, they are on super meth. They are on fentanyl. The DEA statistic says 93% of this is a drug addiction problem. Nithya, Councilwoman Robin's plan for treatment first, I will go below the Harbor Freeway tomorrow with her, and we can find some of these people she's going to offer treatment for. She's going to get stabbed in the neck.
He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. But, hey, if we had a few more $100 million, we could fix this problem. And we wouldn't need the evil Gestapo Nazis from the Trump administration having to fix it for us.
Makes sense.
On the other side of the country, toxic empathy is striking as well. And it's leading to a bit of an investigation. There is now a DOJ probe into the Soros-backed district attorney in the Commonwealth of Virginia over alleged sweetheart deals for illegal aliens. These illegal aliens that then get out of jail and reoffend and don't get deported.
An affluent Fairfax County of Virginia is back in the spotlight, not for good reasons, of course. The Department of Justice has opened a civil rights investigation there into the county's Soros-backed prosecutor, Steve Descano. The department says it believes he's giving sweetheart deals to illegal immigrants. Better deals than he's giving American citizens.
What? Democrats putting illegal aliens over American citizens? Come on. Is that a right-wing conspiracy theory? I'm pretty sure that's a right-wing conspiracy theory.
One recipient, the illegal immigrant charged with killing 41-year-old Stephanie Minter in February.
Oh.
She was stabbed to death while waiting at a bus stop.
You know, the same kind of thing that Spencer Pratt was just talking about. You want to go help these people? You'll get stabbed in the neck. Many such cases, unfortunately. But this is what toxic empathy does, right? This is what Soros-backed district attorneys do. They allow these illegal alien monsters out of the prisons, and then they go reoffend, and then nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the Minter family. Nobody cares about Stephanie. No. Why would they? They're Democrats.
Descano previously dropped a host of charges against the suspect, including malicious wounding and assault.
Well, come on. It's just a malicious wounding charge.
He's just one of 7 illegal immigrants who have been linked to 13 killings in Fairfax County in recent years.
This is fine? I hope this investigation bears fruit. I hope we see some handcuffs on these people. He's not the only district attorney in the country that was propped up via Soros money either. It's insane.
Mark Meredith reports. Mark.
Harris, good morning to you. Good to see you. Stephanie Minter's murder outraged lawmakers here in Washington, as well as the Department of Justice. As you mentioned, it's now launching a formal investigation into Fairfax County prosecutors. As you mentioned, back in February, 41-year-old Stephanie Minter, she was stabbed to death at a bus stop in Fairfax, allegedly by a legal immigrant from Sierra Leone. He had a lengthy rap sheet. Her mom has been urging prosecutors face consequences, considering the suspect had been in the U.S. illegally for over a decade. The federal probe focuses on the chief prosecutor in Fairfax, Steve Descano. He's accused of going easier on criminals if they're in the U.S. illegally. Or as the DOJ puts it, this investigation will uncover whether this prosecutor is putting the community at risk in offering sweetheart deals to illegal immigrants charged with serious crimes. Now, Descano is denying any wrongdoing, calling his policies fair and legal. Yeah. He's called Fairfax the safest large jurisdiction in the country. He also addressed similar complaints.
It's the fairest and the safest. Ooh, okay. Sounds good, bud. Sounds good. Is that a Soros talking point? Did old Georgie boy tell you to say that? I had a text. Why is Soros doing this? Because he wants to see the downfall of America.
It's back in April.
Our office is all about keeping our community safe and doing justice. It doesn't matter what somebody's status is. If somebody commits a crime in Fairfax County, we're going to hold that person accountable.
Republicans are also increasingly angry with Virginia's new Democratic Governor, Abigail Spanberger. You may remember in her first week in office, she signed an executive order limiting state cooperation with federal immigration officers. Now, a hearing focused on Virginia's sanctuary policies is going to happen next week. Lawmakers say they want to hold prosecutors accountable. They're also looking at policies coming out of places like Philadelphia.
When reached out to for a comment, Abigail Spanberger said, "Shut up and pay your taxes, bigot." Oh, well, that's a harsh reaction from the governor. I kid. I made that up. She didn't actually say that, but she is taxing everybody crazy. I'm sure she's thinking it. She might have said it. What do you think the odds are? I bet you she said it. If I was a betting man, would you make that deal? I would take that bet. I'd make that deal. 100%. I'd make that deal. I would.
You can't handle the truth. How about you? You bet you make that deal? I'd make that deal. I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
You know it's not a good deal? Overstaying your visa and not self-deporting. One illegal alien has whopped up a huge fine via the Trump administration. If you recall, the DHS is charging up to $1,000 per day to illegal aliens that are staying here. When we get back, I'll bring you a story about an illegal alien and how much they owe the United States government. This is actually brilliant. bankrupt these illegal aliens if they don't want to self-deport, and make it impossible for them to stay here. We'll bring you that story when we get back. I would prefer to see handcuffs, but this is cool too. 11:21, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. They're our veteran-owned, family-run safe and vault door business right here in Middle Tennessee. The vault doors are sick, by the way. If you haven't seen a vault door, it looks like a trap door. It looks like a bookshelf. It's awesome. Very cool. You got to check it out at Parker's. Let's be honest, a lot of us want a safe. A lot of us want a vault door. I've been asking my wife for one for quite a while. I'm working on it. Father's Day's coming up. But if you need a safe and you've been putting it off because you got to figure out what to get, where to put it, how to get it installed, this is exactly what Aaron and his boys will help you take care of. They'll help you choose the best safe for your needs and your budget, offer advice on the best place to put it. They'll deliver it, and they'll carefully and discreetly install it themselves. Now, you can find a video review of every safe that they have in stock on their YouTube page. Search Parker Safes on YouTube. And Aaron told me that they have great deals going on right now. Plenty of safes in stock and ready to go. Not cabinets that can be tipped over and pried open by teenagers, but quality safes from brands like American Security, Rhino, Liberty, Heyman, and more. Don't put it off any longer. Call my friend Aaron Parker today. 931-842-6445. 931-842-6445. And for a limited time only, when you buy your safe at Parker's, you'll get a free pistol safe while supplies last by mentioning The Chris Hand Show. ParkerSafes.com.
All right, drivers, 65 southbound is still closed in Sumner County. This is for that overturned vehicle between Bethel Road, exit 104, and Louisville Highway, exit 98. Also closed for a crash here in downtown Nashville, Joe Johnston Avenue. between Dr. D.B. Todd Jr. Boulevard and 17th Avenue North in Whites Creek. Got a crash reported 24 eastbound at the Clay Lick Road overpass. Today, our friends in Mississippi are in need of some aid. We'll tell you why coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Headlines on the way in less than 5 minutes here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners. Why on earth would anybody need one of those?
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
I mean, it's a reason. BetterWater.com. It's funny again. Did you notice that? It's funny again. Sometimes it gets less funny, and then we wait, and then we do it again, and then it's funny again. It's like, thank you, Alex. We should, you know that some people have an Alex Jones was right jar? We should have an Alex Jones is funny again jar. We would have enough for a pizza party by now. I feel like we would. We need more pizza parties. Make pizza parties great again. Oh, somebody's going to go off because of the internet because of that one. Yikes. Yikes. All right. I said I was going to bring you something. There's a DHS program where illegal aliens are going to be fined if they stay in the country illegally. And one illegal alien has issued quite a bit of fines. I mean, across the board, $36 billion in fines have been issued. Trump's DHS is charging up to $1,000 a day, but one illegal alien, I think, has the high score.
Well, as President Trump's mass deportations roll on, his administration is also levying some pretty big fines against undocumented immigrants. One woman says hers was more than $1.8 million. And
Good. Are we supposed to feel bad for her? Is that what's going on? This is NBC San Diego. I'm sure that they want us to feel bad about this. I don't feel bad at all, actually. She, instead of getting $1.8 million in fines, you know what she could have done? She could have self-deported and gotten herself I think it's a $1,500 stipend. You could have been in the black, $1,500, but instead you're in the red, $1.8 million. People make choices. They don't think it'd be like it is, but it do.
$1.8 million. NBC 7's Shelby Bremer has her story.
It can often take years for people to adjust their immigration status through legal pathways. And as they wait, the Trump administration has started issuing heavy fines.
Oh, it can take years to get through legal pathways. So they sneak in here illegally, and they make a choice, and then there's repercussions for the actions that you took, and now we're shocked. Now we're stunned. And this is heartbreaking. I mean, that's how they're framing it, right? Oh, it takes years. It takes so long. Okay, well, I mean, you could wait outside the country and you wouldn't be accruing these fines, right? Am I wrong for thinking that?
So one woman in the green card process went to check her mail and found a massive bill.
No criminal record, no issues. She's just been trying to get this fixed for a long time.
That's how immigration
That's a soy boy of an immigration attorney if I ever saw one.
attorney William Menard describes his client, who came to the U.S. from Mexico decades ago when she was about 13 years old. She's so terrified right now, she doesn't want to show her face. She's undocumented, but told us for years she had no idea the government had ordered her to leave.
Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? The government said, ma'am, you're not supposed to be here. Please go home. I had no idea. I had none. It's her fault. It's all her fault.
When she found out in 2013, she started the process to fix her status with a family full of American citizens.
I have 3 beautiful kids, and they're all in the university. They're good kids.
And birthright citizenship.
So I can't not be without them.
Well, then take them with you. Nobody's stopping you. 11:30, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. The next best chance for thunderstorms in Middle Tennessee is going to be on Sunday. But today, our friends in Mississippi are dealing with the aftermath of multiple tornadoes. ABC's Faith Abube in hard-hit Purvis, Mississippi.
Tornadoes devastating Mississippi. At least 17 injuries reported.
The usual
What appears to be a massive wedge tornado south of Butte, about 80 miles outside of Jackson. To the east in Purvis, the view from the sky harrowing. Several homes with their roofs lifted clean off. Hundreds of structures damaged with injuries reported.
Right now in Tennessee, leading Republican lawmakers expect to approve new congressional maps by the end of the day. Today, they're splitting Memphis into 3 districts. We keep waiting for a deal between the U.S. and Iran to end the war or reopen the Strait of Hormuz. ABC's Tom Sufi-Burridge in Tel Aviv tells us about this memorandum of understanding the U.S. and Iran are reportedly considering.
Just to put that into context, if you think back to the former Iranian nuclear deal agreed under President Obama, that had a 15-year period where Iran was limited to very low levels of enrichment. So, these are the kind of issues that need to be ironed out, whether or not they'll be acceptable to President Trump, whether he can sell them and justify the war relative to the actual deal that is done. These are very, very open questions right now.
Officials with the World Health Organization say the latest outbreak of the hantavirus on board a cruise ship does not have the hallmarks of the coronavirus pandemic that paralyzed the world 6 years ago. There have been 5 confirmed hantavirus cases, 6 suspected cases. 3 people have died. Maria Van Kerkhove with the World Health Organization during a news conference today provided an update for those patients who are symptomatic.
I am very happy to say the patient in South Africa is doing better, and the 2 patients in the Netherlands we hear are stable. So that is actually very good news.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. And if you're living with pain in your life, you know you don't have to, right? Well, let me tell you about my friends over at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. These guys are the absolute best. And Dr. Mitchell has built an insane new Medical Bay 1. This is like climbing into a healing spaceship. Full-body lasers, red light, near-infrared stem cell simulation, and photon healing that wakes up your cells the way God intended. You get massaged while it regenerates tissue. It feels futuristic, and the best part is it actually works. They're also leading the game in non-surgical spinal decompression, real relief without surgery, without painful injections, and without opioids. Right now, you can grab the Epic Spinal Special, $33 off every visit. Epic healing for an epic civilization. Head over to painisbad.com right now, painisbad.com, or call 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009. Launch your pain-free voyage today with the Wellness Institute of Nashville, painisbad.com. It's 11:36 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Dan Mandis said, he just hit me up. He's like, dude, you got to go to my Facebook page. You have to go to my Facebook page. I said, why, Dan? He said, Justin Pearson is losing his mind. Apparently, this is what I'm getting from Dan, but also a bit of Twitter happening right now down at the Tennessee Capitol. Rep. Justin Pearson got into a confrontation with THP troopers. And during that confrontation, it was because his brother was being removed from the arena because he was being a bit unhinged. And I mean, I don't know if this is a lightning round story or not, but it is something to play. All right, let's do this. We'll jump into the lightning round. We'll play the fun music. And then
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
we do it every day this time. All the stories that wouldn't fill a segment. Last, a couple stories that we wanted to get to that we couldn't. Stories that we just think are funny. This kind of hits all the lightning round needs in one story. So Justin Pearson is down there. He's protesting racism with the best fro in politics. Let's give credit where credit is due. Nobody surpasses that fro. But it was an angry little fro today because his brother was being removed, and he started cursing at police officers. Listen to this.
I'll walk him out. Y'all going?
Oh, hold on, sorry.
I'll walk him out. Y'all going? Let go. You got me all tied up. Now you got me all tied up. My brother ain't going under your hand. You don't walk out by yourself.
Just push the cop.
Let Pearson go. What's wrong with you?
Very nice guy. He pushed the cop, then he got in his face and yelled, "Boy!" Imagine if the races were reversed. Could you imagine? Could you imagine for a second the meltdown? Imagine if that was a Republican member of the state legislature yelling at a black officer. Imagine the headlines today, and this is bananas. I mean, it looks like he wants to fight.
What's wrong with you?
Pig.
Oh, somebody else called him a pig. Ah. I probably would have pulled out the billy club myself. I probably would have had less restraint than that officer. I mean, he got right up in his face. He pushed him. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, you're seeing the video along with it. I'll play it one more time.
I'll walk him out. Y'all going? Let go. You got me all tied up. Now you got me all tied up. My brother ain't going under your hand. You don't walk out by yourself. Move your back. Boy! Let Pearson go. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Pig.
Pig. I mean, this is what they have to do, right? They have no actual argument here. So all that they can do is lash out with emotion and act outlandish. Would you file this under Stunning and Brave? I think I'd file this under Stunning and Brave. Stunning and Brave. All jokes aside, best afro in politics. And everybody knows it. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. I don't know where we go from there. We just move on. I think that's what the officer's going to do too. You just got to move on. I don't know how do you handle crazy? You don't. He should have got tased, pepper sprayed, maybe a billy club. Yeah. Hey, I got another story in the lightning round, and this one is going to make the liberals melt down. Yeah, because they already melted down about this before. They're soon to melt down about it again. Remember the jet coming in from Qatar for Air Force One? You remember that? Remember that big story? It was a big story. We were getting a plane from Qatar, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, he's being influenced by Qatar. We can't let this happen." It's gonna be ready for the 4th of July. It's gonna be ready for America 250, baby. Get ready. The liberals are going to melt down over this one.
Air Force is targeting a July 4th delivery for the new Boeing 747 gifted by Qatar that will join the Air Force One fleet. A spokesman for the Air Force told the outlet that security modifications and the flight testing is already done and the plane's being painted. They recently unveiled a new red, white, dark blue, and gold color scheme.
What's going to make them melt down more? What do you think? Is it the fact that we got the plane from Qatar or the fact that Donald Trump is going to paint it gold? I don't know. What are the Kalshi odds? What are the Kalshi odds on that? Is there a bet? Can we look it up on Polymarket? What will make the liberals more salty? The fact that the plane's from Qatar or the fact that Donald Trump is painting it gold? That's a bet I wouldn't make. I wouldn't make that bet. That's anybody's guess there. It's not safe money on either side, I'll tell you that much. I got another shit for you in the lightning round. This one is wild. We actually covered this a few months back, okay? But is now gaining more national attention. You're getting ripped off, friends. You're getting scammed. You're getting bent over at the grocery store. And it's not just Walmart. It's the Piggly Wiggly. It's the Kroger. It's everybody. You got to start bringing your own scale to the grocery store. This is essentially the story in a nutshell. That meat that you're buying, it doesn't weigh what the package says it does.
It's real money for us, but it's big money for them.
It is. It's big money in profit.
Jimmy agreed to show me how it's done.
You want to try it?
I'll throw it on there.
Yeah, go ahead.
But each Domino powdered sugar bag we pulled off the shelf at this store was about an ounce under.
It's happening everywhere. I'm just one guy.
This brisket's supposed to be 4.6 pounds. So
I would expect this from the Mexican cartel, but not from Domino's Sugar. You know what I mean? Like, listen. If you're in the illicit drug trade, I imagine that they're shaving some stuff off the top. But if you're dealing with powdered sugar here, that ain't right. That ain't right.
4.6 pounds. So I set off to test myself. Oh, Kentucky legend. Walmart's, Kroger's, and Publix across Cobb and DeKalb counties. We stopped in Dollar General and Piggly Wiggly, too.
Everybody, they're all in on it. Big Grocery has to be stopped. It's not really Big Grocery. It's the companies that they're selling their products. But still, you got to give them a side eye. Are they in on it? They might be.
Follow Jimmy's method. $40. Whew. Pulling products off the shelves for a quick spot test with our scale. Look at these frozen shrimp from Walmart, a 2-pound bag. Jimmy, in repeated tests, found them underweight. So we grabbed bags from 2 different Walmart locations. The FDA says the weight is calculated deglazed. That means without all that ice. But both bags we tested were not what they claimed on the package. Our scale showed both a 1/4 pound under the weight printed on the bag. What about some shrimp and grits? It's about an ounce under. It's an ounce under. These grits were on sale at a DeKalb Piggly Wiggly, but each bag we pulled off the shelf was underweight.
Scammers. Scammers everywhere as far as the eye can see. Again, I would expect this on the black market, but not at the supermarket. Got another shirt for you here in the lightning round. Mason, jump in on this one. What did they do to my boy? The new trailer for the Star Fox game is coming out.
I just sent you a post about this on Instagram.
Did you?
Dude.
What did they do to my boy? What did they do to my boy?
I'm so sad.
Star Fox, if you didn't know, it's a 90s staple for all kids that were raised on an N64.
Dude, I loved that game growing up.
I have it. Me and the boys play it. Then they released a new trailer. It's coming out on the Nintendo Switch 2, and everybody was really excited about it.
Entry complete. Extend the wings.
So, I mean, it looks sick, but everybody was saying that they made Star Fox fat.
It's that, and he just looks too weirdly realistic when he's an anthropomorphic fox flying a spaceship.
Yeah, and they made Falco, look weird. And they made Peppy, the bunny, fat. And they made Slippy, the frog, also weird. And everybody's like, man, this looked better in the new Mario movie.
Yeah.
You had one shot.
It's like he looks great in the new Mario movie.
Also, they're doing a thing with the avatars where like they're going to be able to track you on the camera. So like your movement is going to be Star Fox in the game.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Except it's going to send the furry community into a furry frenzy.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to get weird. The game looks sick, though.
I'm so excited.
Even fat Star Fox aside, people are excited. He does.
He's a chunky fox.
All the memes online have been from Godfather 11 when he's like, what did they do to my boy? It's just the truth. Are you going to get this game?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, I'll need to save up and see if I can afford a Switch 2, but
how much does a Nintendo Switch 2 run?
I think like $400 or $500.
Yeah, I want it, but
That's
I won't do it.
I'll wait till I find a cheap one on Facebook Marketplace, then I'll get the game in a couple of years.
Just make sure that it's the weight that Nintendo says it is.
Yes, not an ounce under.
Yes. How much does Star Fox weigh before we get into this, and then make sure you have your own personal scale.
Or if we're weighing off Star Fox, it's going to be a little heavier than you expect. But
got another story for you here in the lightning round. The New York Times just got exposed for discriminating against white men. Shocker.
Headline caught our attention. The white man claiming the New York Times discriminates against white men. An employee at the Times is claiming DEI policies cost him a promotion in 2025. And the Times allegedly broke the story on itself. Now the Trump administration's Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is suing the paper. The lawsuit claims the Times' race and gender goals influenced its decision not to advance the employee. It also claims the final round of candidates matched the race and gender the paper wanted more of in leadership: a white female, black male, Asian female, and multiracial female. But a spokesperson for the Times denies the claims, calling the case politically motivated, and insists its hiring practices are merit-based.
No, sure thing, pal. Sure thing. Listen, let's be perfectly honest. There is a real angst in the young men of America, and it has a lot to do with affordability. It has a lot to do with housing. It has a lot to do with gas prices. It has a lot to do with that. But at the core, part of this argument is because DEI policies have eliminated merit-based hiring for the past 2 decades. And many white men have not been able to advance up the corporate ladder that they thought they should have been able to do. And it's because of these policies. And the New York Times is now being exposed for doing just that. And I give a lot of credit to the Trump administration. If one of the litmus tests is if you had replaced this with any other race, would it be racist? And if the answer is yes, then it shouldn't be done to white people either.
So joining me now is Fox News contributor Mary Catherine Ham. Hey, Mary Catherine, there's 2 interesting angles to this story. One, that this man is claiming that he was discriminated against because of his race. He wasn't promoted. Other people were because of their race. And the other is the way it's being covered. Like, how dare a white man ever claim he's been discriminated against? Don't you know you can't discriminate against white men?
Yeah, the first thing is discrimination on the basis of race is bad, and there are precious few situations in which it's legal, and sometimes it's unconstitutional, and so you got to be careful about that. You can increase diversity in other ways, which is the stated goal of the New York Times, and also to do merit-based hiring. But here's one of the issues for these folks when they go into lawsuits, I think, is that a lot of this in lefty circles, and particularly in media, progressive, highly educated circles, was so lauded, so expected, so understood to be virtuous, it's gonna be in writing.
Yeah. And they're going to be doing a dig, and they're going to be finding the receipts. And I think that's going to be trouble for the New York Times. I wonder who they're going to do next. I would love for them to go after Indeed. The rumor and the lawsuits have been filed, but the rumor has been there for years that if you got a white name on Indeed, you're not getting to the second round of the interviews. But if you have the same qualifications and your name is anything, Singh or Jamal, you will definitely get a call back. I hope that they go as hard as they can for this, because we do need meritocracy back in this country. That does it for the lightning round. It's 11:51. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults. I told you about this. You should go to his YouTube page. Search for Parker Safes on YouTube. Find a detailed video review of every safe that they have in stock in their showroom in Shelbyville, Tennessee. These guys are the absolute best. Our veteran-owned, family-run safe and vault door business right here in Middle Tennessee. A lot of us want a safe, but we don't know where to begin. Start on the YouTube page and then give my friend Aaron a call. He'll help you figure out which safe is the best for you, your needs, your budget. They'll give you advice on the best place to put it. They'll deliver it, and they'll carefully install it themselves, discreetly and professionally. Aaron told me that they have great deals going on right now, plenty of safes in stock from real brands, not big box store cabinets built for marketing that can be tipped over or pried open by a teenager. We're talking safes from brands like American Security, Rhino, Liberty, Heyman, and more. Don't put it off any longer. Call my friend Aaron today, 931-842-6445, 931-842-6445. It's Parker Safes and Vaults, and when you mention the Chris Hand Show, you'll get a free pistol safe with your purchase while supplies last. You can find them online at parkersafes.com. That's parkersafes.com. $56 minutes past the hour.
Something like that.
Clocks. Who knows how they work?
Words.
It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. We were talking about, I think one of the most viral moments of the past 24 hours has been Spencer Pratt in his debate in California. You have family and friends in California.
Oh, they were watching it. My buddy Jim Kennedy, he does politics for me on the national, but he covers California. He was just like, dude, he's got a shot. He's got a shot. People are fed up.
And this is the most viral moment from the debate.
I want to say Councilwoman Robin acts like she doesn't have any authority with this homelessness. She was the third most powerful person in city council. She runs the homeless housing thing. She acts like this is just Mayor Bass. First off, inside safe. I like to say inside safe makes all of us outside unsafe. The reality is no matter how many beds you give these people, they are on super meth. They are on fentanyl. The DEA statistic says 93% of this is a drug addiction problem. Nithya, Councilwoman Robin's plan for treatment first, I will go below the Harbor Freeway tomorrow with her, and we can find some of these people she's going to offer treatment for. She's going to get stabbed in the neck.
Savage
So
truth.
true.
Savage truth. We need somebody to bring that kind of energy to the Nashville mayoral debate.
It's just, you're just stating the obvious. And you know what? We used to call them, my buddies, Armstrong Getty, big morning show, they say they're urban campers, they're bums and junkies.
Yeah.
That's what you're getting out there.
I mean, I was going through and doing research on California. I mean, put aside for the fact that the birds aren't real, I saw a video of a pigeon making a nest. And, usually they're using sticks and straw and whatever they can find. They're using syringes now.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Syringes.
Yeah. What happened to your pigeon? Died of fentanyl overdose. That'll happen. No, it won't. Again, they're not real, so it doesn't matter.
Thank goodness.
I don't like your haircut either. What was that about?
I'm not allowed to say things that I like. When I like Republicans actually fighting, I'm told that I'm a racist and I have a bad haircut.
You're neither of those things, and I like the haircut. I walked in, first thing I said, check out the new do, which is the same do.
But here's the thing. Yeah, it's always the same. But here's the thing. The racist stuff has been so devalued.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like, it rolls off. This isn't 2003 anymore where it's like, don't call me that. I'm not that. I swear I have 3 black friends. Like, I'm like,
You're like,
word.
whatever. Okay.
Word.
Right. It's like, that's so
me, dog.
stupid.
Yeah.
And it's just, they've devalued it.
They completely devalued it.
When you use it all the time, it doesn't count anymore.
I mean, there's people that are actually racist out there. Like, yeah,
There's
cool.
a lot of bigots and idiots, and people have stupid ideas, and some people that are really racist. But the reality is,
it is such a minuscule portion of the population of this country. They're not the greatest threat to our civilization. The greatest threat to our civilization is Democrats, and you can look at cities like Los Angeles for proof.
Yeah, they just.
I saw a video. This it was like an overweight lady, which really was surprising because a lot of times the drugs help you slim down.
Yeah, they do.
And she's there. The guy was like, "How long you been out here?" 7 years. What?
Yeah.
7 years living in a tent down by the river.
It's insane. It is insane. And you would be so surprised at how ingenious some of these people are and what they do. But the fact that, and they say they start out, well, it was just this, and it was just, they always want to make it seem like this person missed a check and didn't have any friends. That's why they're homeless. Really? So you miss a check, and the first thing you think is, I need some fentanyl.
Uncle Phil Valentine used to be on this station, and he would say, he's the reason I fell in love with Super Talk, but he'd say, the homeless people that you see out there begging, those are junkies.
Yeah.
The people that are those guys that missed a check and fell down on their luck, you know where they are? They're taking advantage of all of these programs to get back on their feet.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
We need to de-incentivize this stuff immediately.
100%. I mean, it's a nightmare, and it'll continue to be that way until we go and finally go. We need to address this in a way that's real, which is this is a drug and issue. Let's deal with it.
So we're running out of time, but you got a lot of friends in L.A.
Yes.
What percentage chance do you think Spencer Pratt has of winning mayor out there?
I think I think it's better than 50-50. I think he's got a very good chance. The fires helped tremendously because it hurt middle class as well as the wealthy. It hurt a lot of things for those people and the incompetence, plus all of the homelessness. Karen Bass was supposed to take care of it, and she almost lost last time. It got worse, and I think he's got a good chance.
I hope he wins.
Yeah.
12 o'clock, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.